This is Ready, Set Reiki, a podcast about Reiki and all energy work, from the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination. And on this Ready, Set Reiki journey, I refer to myself as a guide rather than host, as I too am traveling, learning, and supporting others on this Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your guide, Tracy Seawright, and this is Ready, Set Reiki. Hello, Reiki family. Reiki blessings to you, one and all. Another amazing and wonderful journey together. So before we begin, you know how it goes. We bring up and talk about the Reiki Business Collective. This is where you share, support, and serve. Christian Stone offers a wonderful and safe place for you to land no matter where you are on your journey. Whether you are just a new practitioner, whether you're not even thinking about business, don't let that business name fool you. You can come, join, be a part of that community, and perhaps you are inspired to rise up and move forward to have your very own business. Here you can connect with Reiki Business Community. Check it out. It costs $0 to join this Facebook group. Lots of information, lots of knowledge, lots of supportive people. I want you to know you're never alone on this journey. There are helpers. So this is a place where the helpers are. Well, let me tell you about our guest coming up. Mary Erie. She is a Reiki master, a certified integrative health coach devoted to helping others heal on every single level. And that means mind, body, and spirit. Now, she blends energy work with integrative health practices, and she creates a deeply supportive space for transformation. Her path began through her own experiences, with autoimmune issues in her early 20s. However, now she is in remission, and which has awakened her calling to help guide others back to vitality, alignment, and inner power. So let's give a warm Ready, Set, Reiki welcome to May.
Hi, Tracy. Thank you so much for having me on Ready, Set, Reiki. I absolutely love this podcast. So a little bit about me. I live in Colorado. I grew up here, born and raised. I love the outdoors. I love hiking and exploring. This state is so big that I haven't even explored every single area. And also, before I got into holistic health and Reiki, I did dog walking. I was a professional dog walker and pet sitter. I've always loved animals and guided towards them. And I also did art too. I originally went to college for art and taught pottery classes. So in my free time, I love exploring new foods too. I'm a foodie and love trying new restaurants.
Beautiful. I love that. I actually used to be a dog walker and a dog sitter as well. So there was a woman I'm from Western Pennsylvania, and she had a business. Her name was Aunt Penny. Her name was Penny Lane after the Beatles song. And so she had her own dog sitting service. And I worked for her a little bit while I was teaching in the schools on the side. So all good things. How beautiful. I love it. So here we're talking about Reiki. When did Reiki come into your life? Did you find Reiki or did it find you?
So Reiki absolutely found me. After I healed my autoimmune condition, I went back to school. I said, once I'm better, I'm going to go back to school and help other people. So I originally went to school for integrative health coaching, and I went through a really great program at a community college here in Colorado. And it had a whole bunch of different modalities that we could try out. And I needed one more class to graduate. And I really wanted to take acupressure, but the class was full. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll do yoga teacher training. But then I heard from the other girls in my program that it was really intense and I was just wanting to graduate. So my professor was like, well, you could try Reiki. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And I was super skeptical about it. And thinking back, actually, when I worked in retail, there was a woman that did Reiki and she was trying to explain it to me. And I totally just did not understand it. And when I was going through the program, I was still really skeptical about it, didn't really get it until I started working on myself and other people, then really magical things happen, and it completely changed my life. And it actually changed my health coaching business too, because I would say that I use Reiki more now. So I
Mhm.
still use the tools from health coaching, but Reiki absolutely, I feel, helps my clients way better than health coaching ever did.
Oh, beautiful. And it's so interesting when people ask you, like, what is Reiki, and how to answer that in a way that they could really understand. And it's a modality that you really need to feel and experience yourself. When I first was told about Reiki in 2006, it was like my friend was speaking a different language. It wasn't, the frequency wasn't, we were like, not, no, I don't think so. And then I sat and watched her have a session. I'm like, I don't know, like, what's happening here, right? And then it just one day it clicked, and it was
Yeah.
the right time. But it was, I mean, quite a number of years later that I connected with this. And so it's just
Yeah.
so interesting that even though someone can tell you something, it's until you step in and open up and experience it yourself that you'll begin to see the changes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anybody that's skeptical about it, just give it a try. And that's why I do a lot of free healings, just so people can start to kind of be like, okay, maybe this is working, and dip their toes into it.
Wonderful. So, as you're out, as you're working with this stress reducing modality, what are some of the misconceptions that you hear people say about Reiki?
Absolutely. I there's a couple of things, and I'm sure that every practitioner hears this, that Reiki is rich witchcraft, that it's satanic, that it's a cult or a religion, and it's absolutely none of those things. It's very science based, actually. We use it in hospitals. There's case studies of that you can find on PubMed of Reiki working. So yeah, all of those, I like, it makes me laugh.
Right. And I'm seeing now, especially on social media, that there is even a big division between even practitioners and masters. This kind of
Mm,
judgment about you can't do this online. Uh,
mm,
Angelic Reiki isn't really a Reiki, and they're not valuing all of the different systems and coming from a way of respecting all lineages, all systems, and all schools of Reiki, even though it might be maybe a little different from perhaps you or I had learned it, but the idea that we're all here for service. You know, these are individuals who are moving forward and from a place of love and compassion. That's our goal, right? To help not only heal ourselves, but heal others. Are you finding that as well as you're navigating through this?
um, a little bit, but not so much. I feel like the Reiki community is like so compassionate, and they include anyone. There may, like, I would say maybe some practitioners are like, you can't tell people the symbols, like they have to go through training and blah blah blah. But really, like, Reiki should be for everyone,
Right.
no matter what type it is. And I hate that with anything, people that think that like they're better or they're condescending or they should keep it a secret, like whether like it comes to health or art or music or whatever. I really hate the elitist mentality.
Right. Or the gatekeeping mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like why I want to teach Reiki, so people can help themselves and they don't have to rely on other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. But of course, in the Reiki Business Collective, that's a place where we don't have that kind of division. So that's a great place again to land where you're not going to have that judgment. Everybody's really supportive of everyone else. So, what has surprised you about working with the energy?
One thing that surprised, well, all of it, but I would say the first thing that really surprised me when I started Reiki was how spiritual it made me. So it's not necessarily like you have to dabble in spirituality, but I was not a very spiritual person to begin with. When I like thought that when you passed away, that's just it. Like it's nothing. But when I was learning Reiki, I had clients that I would start to hear like these messages from their past loved ones. And then I was also dealing with a grief of my grandpa, and I could start to feel him. And like I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. But it really helped me with that grief process and knowing that there's something else out there, and that like when we die, that's not just it. There is another realm. That's what I believe in. So it helped me connect to my spirituality. It's helped my clients with grief as well, because I do get intuitive messages sometimes. I don't know these people, I just relay them. I'm just the messenger. And I really think that that can be healing for people. And that's not with every practitioner like uses that in their practice, but it came to me. Um, and I would also just say how quickly my clients can overcome things. So, like I said, with health coaching, I would be on the same issue with someone over and over with sessions, and it was frustrating with them and frustrating with me. And I still do interviewing with them, like how's your stress levels, your sleep, your diet, to get a baseline, and so they can kind of think about it. But I honestly don't need to know anything about them for Reiki to work. And then my clients come to me and they're like, I started riding my bike again, I meal prepped, and we didn't talk about any of those things. I believe like Reiki is cleaning house of the soul. So when you're able to clear out that gunk, you are able to live the highest version of yourself, and it just comes naturally.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that for you and your clients. I love that for your clients. I mean, what a beautiful thing to integrate into your work. And with Reiki, there's no religion attached, so it's completely different than spirituality. Spirituality is making it your own path, so there's no dogma attached to it or anything. So know that as you journey forward. So when it's time to get an energetic tune-up, what qualities do you look for in a Reiki practitioner?
So practitioner for me, I really love someone who's knowledgeable. I love someone that has tools that I don't necessarily have, but I also love someone who's compassionate and that I resonate with. And when I was going through my health journey, I would look for practitioners that were knowledgeable. They'd have blog sites and videos, and I was like, oh, like this is great. They know a lot of things. But I actually booked a session. So I had Hashimoto's when I was in my early 20s, and I came with a slew of symptoms. And I found a practitioner that had dealt with Hashimoto's. So I was like, great. And she seemed really knowledgeable. But then when I got into the session with her, she came in with a bunch of baggage and was like, I'm in pain, my back hurts. Most of the session we were talking about her. And I was like, I'm here to get help from you, and you're like complaining about your stuff. So I think I offer a discovery call for people so you can see if that resonate, like my energy is good for you and you resonate with it. And that's what I wish I had with that practitioner, because I would have been like, no, I'm not booking with you. Mm-hmm. And also that's why I offer videos on Instagram and TikTok, so you can see like, this is how she does things. I really like that. That's cool. And there's other practitioners. That's what I love about social media now. There's other Reiki practitioners that I absolutely adore, because I'm able to see what they do and it resonates with me. So I think just investigating people and discovery calls are great for that reason. Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm finding recently that there's a lot of practitioners that go on YouTube and they watch YouTube videos and feel that makes them qualified as a practitioner. And they're kind of going out and they're doing services and providing services and actually doing trainings without taking that opportunity and that time. And so it's good to also do that research as well. So you have that connection with that person, ask those questions, go on that discovery call, say, what do you do? What do you do for self-care? How are you working with the energy? How long have you been working with it? And really, it doesn't matter, too long. When you look at Azui Sensei, it was only 4 years that he was working directly with that energy. But just what they're doing and how they're grounding, how they're, taking this and working it into their lives as a lifestyle. So it's really important to have that opportunity to talk to people beforehand instead of showing up at the session and like, oh yeah, this isn't working.
Yeah, absolutely. And as practitioners, we need to walk the talk. We need to take care of ourselves so we can show up for our clients. And, I do Reiki on myself daily.
I mean, you can be a practitioner for 30 years and someone who just got their certificate, like last week, and they could have a greater following and they can, have just that energy that's so welcoming and loving to people and not really charisma, but just have it like, yeah, I feel safe here. And so it really doesn't even matter time wise. It just matters that connection. You feel safe, right? And, you feel comfortable being in that session with them. So what advice would you give someone who's just entering this spiritual work?
That's a really good question. Again, I would say do your research, but also be open. With Reiki, I was very skeptical about it and didn't understand it. And I would say that if you are kind of questioning it, just dabble in it a little bit. And same with other modalities. If you're curious about it, just research it and try to find a community and see if it resonates with you.
Beautiful. So what books do you recommend?
So this is a little cliche, but I really like the OGs, like The Secret, and I really love You Are Badass because I love just that positive mindset. And those I've read countless times, they always hype me up. And I think that when you read positive things like that, that can change you energetically. And same with positive music and that thing.
Beautiful. So what other services do you offer? Classes? Do you do trainings, events?
So I currently offer distance Reiki sessions, and you can choose health coaching or Reiki sessions or a combination of both. And then also I will be offering classes in the fall, so be on the lookout for that. But I offer free Reiki sessions all the time. So if you just hop on my Instagram or TikTok, you can catch me and get a free session.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. So where can we find you since you're offering it online if we're interested in a session or a service or training you're going to provide?
Yeah, so I have a website, Reiki with May. You can find me there. And that has all the links to my social media. But I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm starting my YouTube. I'm putting my videos on there too. So if you just look up Reiki Master May is my Instagram, and that's my TikTok as well. And same with, I believe, my YouTube. So you can find me there. But then if you go on my website, Reiki with May, it will have more information and you can book with me there.
Beautiful. Well, that ends the first part of our journey. I'm going to guide you to the second part, which are questions from social media, from listeners and Reiki students. So number one, how has incorporating Reiki into your integrative health coaching helped your clients?
It's helped my clients immensely. I've seen quicker results. I've seen better results with Reiki. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I still do emotional interviewing with them and tapping into those baselines of stress, eating, your diet, what your sleep looks like. But I really don't need to know any of that. And sometimes I actually don't want to know because it's more fun to see what the findings are with Reiki. But it gives us a baseline of where the client has started and then how they've progressed. And with Reiki, you just give Reiki and then it clears out all the gunk and then people can go on their merry way. And that's what I love about Reiki. We don't have to be reliant on supplements or pills or things. Reiki just does it. And then you're good to go. You may need a tune up, you may not, but whenever you're called to it, it will be there for you.
Beautiful. Number 2, your path has included struggles with autoimmune issues. What advice do you have someone who is struggling with this issue?
So I feel when I had autoimmune issues, this was like 15 years ago in my early 20s, and I was having all these crazy symptoms. You name a symptom, I had it. I had anxiety, depression, insomnia, hives, my hair was falling out, like I was losing weight, I was gaining weight, I had a seizure, I feel like I had to go on that journey so I can be empathetic towards my client and find my way to holistic health. But now I feel like autoimmune issues are completely rampant. And I feel like most people that I talk to are dealing with some type of autoimmune issue, which is really sad, but also I want people to know that they can heal. Your body has the ability to heal. You just have to give it what it needs. And most of the time with autoimmune issues, it's different for everyone on a case by case basis of what your body needs. But what I've seen and what Reiki is really great at, is there's emotional issues underlying it, like some traumatic event happened or unresolved emotional issues that you haven't dealt with that's residing in your body, and that's why your body is trying to tell you and having these symptoms. So just know if you're dealing with that there is hope, and just keep trying. I saw 5 doctors before I got diagnosed. And most of them were like, oh, you have anxiety, here's some Xanax. But finally, when I did get diagnosed, but it's like, here's a thyroid pill. And it's like, well, I don't want to be on a pill for my whole life. And so I worked with a naturopath. I had a bunch of nutritional deficiencies. I had a parasite. That's not to say everyone has that. That was my own story. And it took me 4 years to heal. So don't think that you're going to heal overnight, but also don't stay there either. So I would be obsessed with like, what do I have to eat or take to heal? And that's where art really helped me. So to come outside of myself, and I feel like that can be really healing for people. Like, get outside of just healing, find who you are and what makes you happy, whether that's animals, music, going out in nature, art. You need that for your soul too.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Can really be helpful to someone who's struggling right now to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? And just be patient and stick with it. And you were also very diligent as well. You kept moving and seeking answers and blending different things together to help you get through that. So thank you. Number 3, as you stated, you were a skeptic, you weren't real sure. So now here you are in the journey. As you were going through that class, as you were growing in Reiki, how did you know you were ready to move forward with your Reiki master training?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to be in a program that they offered it. Some people didn't progress to the master level, but I was like, why not? Like, I would want to teach other people how to do this. So it was a no-brainer for me. Yeah.
Beautiful. So that was our last question. As we've been talking, is there something that you have forgotten or something you want to share with the listeners? The floor is yours.
I would just say that if you are skeptical about Reiki, just give it a try. Find a practitioner that resonates with you. I personally wish that I found Reiki way sooner in my life. It would have helped me a lot. And that's why I want to teach others. And I want to give people knowledge about what it is. And so they can help themselves, help their families, and we can just be healthy and happy people.
Beautiful. And let us know where we can find you again, the name of the website.
Yeah, my website is Reiki with May, and you can book a discovery call on there, but I am on all social media platforms and I go by the name Reiki Master May, so you can find me there as well.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, May, for joining me on this Ready, Set Reiki journey and taking time out of your very busy schedule to be a part of it.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much.
All right, my beautiful listeners, if you'd like your question featured on Ready, Set Reiki, reach out, www.readysetreiki.com, or check me out on social media. Send me those questions and they can be brought on and asked of our lovely and amazing, wonderful guests, many who are out there doing amazing things in this world and sprinkling Reiki all over. So thank you, everyone. I'm Tracy Seawright, and this has been